Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Raddick, and in a moment we'll be joined by City Manager Mark Roloff. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including items from city departments and some things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight some items from the upcoming Tuesday, September 13th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in City Manager Mark Roloff. And Mark, thanks for being here today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right. Well, again, we have a packed show with a lot of information, and we know that this is the road construction season, and it's busy all around town with that. So we just wanted to give our viewers a little bit of an update about some of the various projects going on around town.
Yeah, I think you'd say we're hitting the peak of activity right now, but now you're starting to see the progress that everybody is hoping to see. Mm-hmm. We still have a couple months left of construction season, but as some of our video shows, we've got some great progress we've been making, and probably the one that people are most interested in because it's a more of a main street is Algoma Boulevard, going through the university all the way up to Congress Avenue. But you can see that a lot of concrete has been placed over there on Algoma Boulevard, so it's starting to take shape, and you can see what's going on. We still have a lot of work to do with sidewalks and, of course, restoration, but you can see the progress is happening, and it's wonderful to have the bird's eye view of everything that's going on. So, again, just other shots going through the university, but we're getting close to Congress Avenue. We got one lane all the way over to Congress Avenue right by the Public Museum, so we're very pleased with that project. So, Vinton Constructions, the firm, and they're anticipated to complete sidewalk grading operations within the next week or so. But you can see the paving continues, and then restoration and landscaping work will begin shortly thereafter. Our first area is going to be over at the university, because with the university in session, this can be very disruptive to university operations, and we want to respect that.
Absolutely. And you can see some of the concrete actually being poured at that point. So we had the Oshkosh Media drone flying around some of these locations. So we're anticipating that this project will continue at a pretty good pace here, and we'll keep everyone updated about it.
Yeah, and so we had other things going on too.
Well, and then over on the east side, we have Rosalia Street, and it looks like that is mostly completed. It looks like they're maybe doing the driveway skirts and things like that.
Yeah, that's a very positive, hopeful thing that things are getting close to completion. Obviously, there's a lot of restoration, but you can see that the driveways are on their way, or at least the driveway aprons. But little pieces of driveway that we had to take back from the private side, so we're doing all those things. But concrete near completion, sidewalk and driveway continues. The thing you're going to see out there is that the intersections, especially the east-west streets that cross Rosalia, they're still closed, and they'll remain closed except for people to get onto Rosalia. So, but I think the folks on Rosalia know how to get on and off their street right now. Contractors have been working very closely. So, but if you're going through the neighborhood, I would say if you're going east-west on Washington, Wagoo, CP, streets of that nature, you're probably not going to be able to get on Rosalia. So just be very careful as you're making your way through the neighborhood.
And we wanted to remind folks that they can subscribe for email updates about all of the various construction projects happening in Oshkosh. If they go to the city's website and then the Public Works page, there's a link there for subscribe for updates on these various projects. But Rosalia Street is moving along. We also have some work that is about to begin out on Oregon Street.
Yeah, this work on Oregon was supposed to be south of Waukah Avenue, out to Ripple, and it was delayed because of sewer pipe availability. So sewer pipes available, so they're starting their work, and we're real pleased that we're going to get that started. But it's much later than anybody would have anticipated. But that's just the mantra you hear about supply chain issues. But we're happy that it's on its way, and it'll probably stretch into next year because of the amount of time. But I think as long as the contractor can keep working up through winter time, I think that you're going to see a lot of activity out there.
Sure. And then beyond road construction, we have more happening beyond road construction, and part of that is the Parks Department is beginning work on demolishing their administration operations building in the wake of a new building that will be coming. Exactly.
So first off, Parks is relocated. A variety of places, but
right.
Where the public normally contacts the Parks Administration, that's where I moved over to our water distribution building over there on 3rd Avenue. So just be aware that as you pull up to the old Parks building, it's all fenced up and it's ready to get demoed within the next week or so. They're working on asbestos abatement right now, which is required before we start the old wrecking ball, but these will be your last shots of our old Parks building, so wave goodbye to it, everybody. I've gotten over my goodbyes with the old building because it was really in poor shape, and it just was so dysfunctional from an operational standpoint. So the new building will be a great welcome to our Parks staff and make them much more efficient.
Sure. And another thing that the Parks Department is proud about is that the work is continuing on their Four Seasons building over at Lakeshore Park.
It is, and we're going to see that continue probably through the winter. That's been a little bit delayed, but so we won't focus on current construction, but this is what it'll look like when it's all done, and we're really excited about this. So just keep your eyes open for progress on that, and we'll keep reporting it through the season.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, then also, Mark, over at the Oshkosh Senior Center, they have achieved re-accreditation, and this is quite an honor for them.
It really is, and I'm a little embarrassed to say, I don't know if we've ever discussed this on City Manager's Report, so I think it's high time. Jean Wallerman, our Senior Center Director, and all her staff, they do so many things, and this is actually the 4th time of re-accreditation. It takes place every 5 years. And what's really interesting, there are only 200 senior centers in the entire country that receive this accreditation. So we're very proud of what we're able to do and the services we provide to seniors. So the reviewers went through, it's really a recognition of excellence in program activity and operations. And there's some really interesting comments that the reviewers had. They talked about the senior center championing and spreading the word in the community about the importance of healthy aging. And the program has offerings that can help older adults achieve that goal. We were over there just a month or two ago talking about some of the fall prevention things they do and identifying potential for fall prevention. It's keeping everybody healthy, and that's a big deal. Progressive programming, even while we were there for taking a look at the exercise room, there were exercise classes going on.
Sure.
There's activities there all the time. And they're very good on even the paperwork, risk documents and waivers and things like that. Wellness is a super huge issue for them. And then just everything about staying active, staying social, staying informed. The one I think about is the grant we received for technological education. What was the name of that, Andy?
Connect Through Tech.
Connect Through Tech. I mean, that program was done at the perfect time. It was right about the time COVID hit, so it made people more aware of technology to keep them connected with family. So programs like this, the Senior Center is extremely responsive, and I think this national recognition proves it.
Well, absolutely, and I encourage folks to take a look at the Senior Center website or just give them a call. They have a wonderful newsletter, The Current, that has all of the details about everything happening at the Oshkosh Senior Center, so check that out. Okay, over at the City Clerk's office, we have a need for some poll workers, and we just wanted to get the word out about that.
Yeah, calling all poll workers.
Yes.
Anything you can do if you have some time on your hands, especially on Election Day on November 9th, we would certainly be... 8th, excuse me. Yeah, that's right. We moved the council meeting to the 9th. So November 8th. So you get paid for it, and it gives you an opportunity to meet a lot of your fellow neighbors, fellow city citizens. But you help register new voters, answer questions, hand out and explain ballots. It's a great public service, and certainly want to encourage people to sign up if they are available to assist us, and we can certainly use the help.
Absolutely. If folks are interested, please call the clerk's office at 920-236-5011 or visit the city's website, and there's an application there. Right there, you're seeing it on the screen that you can fill out to become a poll worker, and they will welcome your assistance. Okay, also we have another item. The Public Works Department has some financial assistance that is available for lead water service line replacement. And this has become an issue in some communities, and we're fortunate here that we have this ability for folks to have their lines checked and inspected and potentially have those lines replaced. And
this is a program for the private side, within your property, to get your private side lateral taken care of. This program right now is for 2022. We still have funds left, and we will, if you are eligible, which it is fairly easy to become eligible, we'll reimburse eligible property owners until the funding's expired. So check out our website for this. All the work, including the public side, if lead, must be completed by the end of 2022. So there's the website, check it out, or to schedule a service line check, just give us a call at 920-232-5336.
Okay, and then also just a note that the folks from the water distribution will be having an informational booth at the upcoming Oshkosh Saturday Farmers Market, and you can get some handouts there, some information. They might even have some giveaways, so you can get more information and ask them questions directly there. But like you mentioned, Mark, there you see the private side, the illustration of the difference between the private side and from the street.
Yeah, and we certainly want people to have their private side done, because just doing the public side isn't enough. It doesn't protect you enough. In fact, if we change it and you don't, it actually could be worse. Mm-hmm. So we want to, and there are financial incentives that we will reimburse you for a good portion of your cost. So encourage people to do it, and again, check our website, and we'll hook you up.
Okay, very good. All right, third graders are now visiting the Oshkosh Public Museum. This is something new, and this is kind of exciting.
This is something that our new museum director, Sarah Phillips, saw as an opportunity to really improve on, do that connection, a greater connection between our public schools. And third graders are really the target audience that we're doing. We're going to get all the third graders in the Oshkosh Area School District to visit the Oshkosh Public Museum. And that's about 623 students from 33 classrooms. So we will be buzzing with activity.
A lot of students.
And I couldn't be happier. I think this is wonderful. Our exhibit, The People of the Waters, actually aligns with the third grade social studies curriculum. So teaching our third graders about the history of Oshkosh through Native American times is very relevant for their education. And the local history galleries at the Public Museum bring that social studies curriculum to life by inviting students to interact with history. So we really look forward at the museum to be welcoming these students, and look for more. We're going to be doing a lot more to connect our students in our museum. And I think that'll be great for the community and great for the Public Museum.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Public Museum, not only is it a great resource for our community, but this demonstrates that it's also a great resource for our schools. So good to see that. And then also another resource for our schools and the community is the Oshkosh Public Library, and they're celebrating freedom to read throughout the month of September.
This is a recognition that people have freedom to read, any book that's out there, and our library tries to stock with, books of a variety of interests. And so Freedom to Read Month is actually in September, and there's a whole bunch of different activities that the library is putting on throughout the month of September. So I encourage everybody there's a whole bunch of different activities at the OshkoshPublicLibrary.org website. You can get details on all the different programs that are going on through the month of September. There's going to be an expert panel to talk about things such as banned books and challenging books and things like that. A lot of interesting information. Encourage people to check it out.
There's too much to mention here, so we encourage folks to check out OshkoshPublicLibrary.org or give them a call and get all of the information there. A lot going on at the library. Okay, we also wanted to make mention that summer isn't over yet, and there's still some kind of fun activities that are happening over in our parks. And we have Brews on the Bay coming up in September here.
Yeah, our next Brews on the Bay is going to be Wednesday, September 14th. In addition to the beverages with local breweries serving craft beers, visitors can enjoy great food from the local food trucks, a lot of family-friendly activities. And this September 14th edition of Brews on the Bay will feature Swamp Water Boogie, so we're real excited about that. There's other activities that are going to be going on at Menominee Park through the late summer and fall. You can check out their website, but we certainly want to plug the last Brews on the Bay for September 14th.
Right, and the Parks Department does have a complete activity guide with all of their activities and events that are coming up. So we encourage you to check that out as well. And there's a lot coming up this fall, so please check that out. And we'll be talking about some of those various things coming up on future shows. Also, we wanted to make note that the city has a survey currently open regarding communications information preferences. And so, you know, the folks have a lot of different means to get their information from the city, and we just wanted to find out in a little bit more detail what works best for people to get that information.
Yeah, so we're going to poll everybody, as many as we can. So the tool that we use, Pulco, has this survey, and we encourage everybody to go to our Pulco app and go to our website and find this survey and just tell us what your preferred channels of communication are, and we'll take all that information and process it and see what we can do to improve service. I view communications as one of those things that's a constant improvement process. So we're going to keep improving, and this is one way by which we can get your input.
And people can access that survey through the city's website. There's a link there for Pulco. Also through Oshkosh Media, social media, and the City of Oshkosh Facebook page. We have posted also some links to that survey. So take a look for that, and we encourage you to participate. Okay, Mark, I think that's about time that we need to take a break here, and we'll be back right after this short break for some highlights of the upcoming Common Council meeting agenda. We'll be right back.
Any idea how fast you were going today?
You speed, you lose. Slow it down in Wisconsin, or we'll do it for you. Zero in Wisconsin, a vision we can all live with.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming Tuesday, September 13th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting. So Mark, one thing that is back that we're excited about is that we will have some students at the meeting for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, we since COVID pandemic hit, we have not had students to come in to do our ceremonial Pledge of Allegiance. For this school year, the kids are back. I'm excited about it. It's always fun to see the kids come in and get their time on the GovTV, as well as learn a little bit about civics. So we're excited for it and happy to welcome back. This meeting, it'll be South Park Middle School, but you'll see a bunch of schools parade through the course of the academic year.
Okay, and then diving into the agenda, we have the consent agenda, and we have an intergovernmental agreement with Winnebago County, and this is for fire protection services over at Whitman Regional Airport.
We have a great arrangement with Winnebago County where we provide much needed fire suppression services over there. And it's not just for EAA, it's for any of the activities that go on at the airport. So we have an agreement, and it's due for updating, and we've worked through it. And I think any time that we're demonstrating how we collaborate with one another, I think it's good for everybody. So this video is just some examples of some equipment that's specific to the airport that our fire department operates on behalf of the county, and it's a very good arrangement. They give us access to a fire station that we can use both on the airport and off the airport. So this one covers a good part of the south side of town. You won't see this vehicle out there on the public streets. This is specific to the airport, and the airport pays for that themselves because that's airport specific. So we're real excited about the collaboration, and we're going to continue to do it.
Okay. And then we have an agenda item for some maintenance work over at the Pollock Community Water Park. And I understand that there's actually a fund that is set aside for taking care of certain things like this.
I have to give the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation super big kudos. They had the vision that when they did the fundraising for the new Pollock Water Park back in 2006, that they had enough foresight to say things are going to need to get improved. So not only let's fund the initial improvement, but let's create a fund that things can get restored. So for Tuesday's agenda, what we're talking about is basically replastering and restoring the lazy river. And that's just one example, but they have a fund set aside to take care of a lot of different improvements over there to make sure that the pool holds up over the years. So we're so pleased and proud of the Community Foundation's leadership. This is $374,000 to get done. 100% funded by the fund that is created over at the Community Foundation. No tax dollars are going to be used to do this. This is the generosity of the foundation and the thousands of donors that have donated to them recently as well as over the years. So it's a great partnership, and we are very proud of that collaboration.
Well, it's important to maintain our community assets like that, and it's good to see that it's being taken care of. Okay, then we also have another item. We're setting a public hearing date, and this relates to East 9th Avenue, and this is over by the Sawdust District.
It is, and this is giving us an east-west road that will connect us into Pioneer Drive and Pioneer Island for the long terms. So you see at the lower part of this map, East 9th Avenue, and you see how it kind of curves up and around to get back over to Pioneer Drive. Because of the curviness of this, we have to actually acquire some land to do the road, but we also have some excess land that we now can vacate. So this portion is about starting the process to vacate properties, but effectively we're swapping properties out so that this curve in the road gets done and provides a very easy access from I-41 into downtown Oshkosh on 9th Avenue, which becomes East 9th going into Pioneer. We're very excited about moving forward with this project.
Okay, very good. And then later in the agenda, we have our new resolutions, and one of those is kind of a big deal. It's the capital improvement plan, and that is a 10-year plan. And what can you tell us about that item?
Well, this is something that is approved annually by the council. In recent years, we'd only been doing a 5-year capital improvement plan, or CIP. Over the last couple of years, to qualify for more grants, our staff has actually created a 10-year capital improvement plan. So council is going to be voting on that on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. And we also just wanted to make a note that Public Works Director James Robbie has recorded an informational video that highlights the 2023 proposed capital improvements plan, and that can be accessed there you see through the city's website, and it also is available through Oshkosh Media. You can check it through our YouTube page or on GovTV. So we encourage folks to learn more information about it at that location. Okay, then we also have another new resolution, and we are approving some of the American Rescue Plan Act dollar allocations, and this is for non-infrastructure purposes.
Correct. I had provided the council with 5 applications that I felt were appropriate to move forward. I got some great questions from council and actually members of the community as well. based on some of those questions, I've got a couple projects that I'm holding back where I want to get more information, because I think the public has a right and the council wants to know that any decision they make regarding use of these American Rescue Plan or ARPA funds is done with as much information as possible, and they make a good informed decision. So for Tuesday's meeting, what I'll be bringing forward are 3 of the 5. The Boys and Girls Club for $1 million, ADVOCAP for roughly $130,000, and the Christine Ann Center for $350,000. Those 3 will be moving forward. The other 2, which are COTS, a transitional housing facility, and the Oshkosh Food Co-op, will be holding over till another meeting because we're getting more information, and I think we'll get some good information. So the next meeting, I expect that those will be considered as well.
Okay, so this is really a first phase.
Yeah, and this is only about committing about 40% of the total. We're going to have other projects that we will be bringing forward, but these 3 initially, 2 second wave, will really give us an idea of what council's priorities are, so that as we review other applications, we can kind of get feedback from council on what they want to see for future applications.
Okay, very good. Then we also have another new resolution providing direction to staff regarding the water filtration plant clear wells reconstruction and rehab. So we're looking at some of the design parameters.
Right. We had a workshop with the council several weeks ago and identified 3 basic options. One is to really repair and rehabilitate existing underground tanks, but it was made very clear that that would actually cost more than the cost of brand new tanks and really only extend the life about 20 to 30 years tops. So, and a lot of people are concerned about the view. I certainly respect that because in the foreground you can see that's where the tanks are going to go. Right now there's a little mound there. It would be a little higher, but actually it's actually lower than the elevation of the water plant itself. But there are 2 other options that the council will be considering, and we'll get some feedback from them. One is a traditional round tanks that are on the ground. That's the one on the the upper end of this graphic. And then square and rectangular tanks, which have a few more problems, but the other advantage is that they are lower than the actual height of the water filtration plant. So you can see the relative height as it pertains to the water filtration plant. Staff's going to be recommending the at-grade circular tanks, but the council certainly can discuss and debate the other options if that's what they want to do.
Okay, very good. Then we also have under the city manager announcements and statements, we're looking at a recent report came out regarding the they call it PFAS sampling in our drinking water, and this was quite favorable.
Yeah, it was. PFAS compounds are a class of thousands of human-made chemicals used in everything from food packaging and cookware to upholstery and firefighting foam. The concern was that there might be some PFAS in our water. The problem is primarily existed in groundwater. We do not use groundwater for our water consumption, but the DNR asked for a voluntary program. We are participating in that. And the concern is that because PFAS compounds don't really break down in the environment, they're referred to as forever chemicals. And the problem is that if they never go away, that's a big problem. But we did 20 samples, and of the 20 samples, 19 of them were so low there's not even a number that's not even measurable. And the one that was measurable was at a 1.55 parts per trillion, and the standard is 70 parts per trillion. So we're way, way under the threshold with only that one sample, and the other 19 are even lower than that. So we're very proud that we've got the number low, and we're hoping everybody will appreciate that.
Well, that's some good news. Good to hear. So, Mark, I think we're about out of time, and we really appreciate your insights today.
Always a pleasure, Andy.
Okay, and thank you for joining us today. Again, that Oshkosh Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, September 13th at City Hall at 215 Church Avenue. You can watch that live on Gov TV, Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or you can listen on the radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for checking in with us.